Oh, thank God you're here. No, seriously, thank God you're here. You see, if you're watching this video right now, I need you to know something. You're the one that I've been looking for. You see, we both share a burning desire, and that desire has brought the both of us together here and now. You know, two people who share the same desire are destined to meet. Though, unfortunately, these meetings rarely happen. And do you know why? Well, it's because most people are so busy being consumed with what they don't want, like loneliness, isolation, being single, that they don't see everything they do want. And even if it's sitting right under their nose, often leaving them feeling looking for answers about themselves and their ability to draw the right person into their life. And what I know for sure is that you're here because you too are looking for answers. And that's why I'm really glad you're here. But if I'm going to be honest and upfront with you, it's not the answers I'm here to help you with. It's the questions. You see, you've been asking yourself the wrong questions, and that's why you're here. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to introduce myself and just ask permission to share my intention for inviting you here. So, my name is Scott, and I'm Britta. And for years, we've been helping people just like you find their soulmate. Give a few examples. And in this short video, I'd like to do a few things. Well, first, I'd like to share with you an intimate and profound attraction technique that very few people know about. And at first, it might be a hard pill to swallow, but I promise once you've opened up to the idea, you'll be able to implement what I'm showing you and find your soulmate in no time flat. So firstly, I'm going to show you in a universal and mathematically precise way the number one reason why you haven't yet found your soulmate. And then I'm going to show you a hidden key that's sitting inside of you that will literally see your soulmate show up in weeks or months, not years or decades. And then at the end of all that, I'm going to show you how you can apply these intimate secrets into your life today so that you can open the floodgates for your soulmate to float right on in. So let's relax and take a deep look inside the universe's most predictable law. Well, how predictable? Is it as predictable as magnetism or gravity? Actually, yeah, it is. In fact, this law is so predictable and precise that once you understand and apply it, even the people closest to you will stop and be in wonder about what you're doing, how you're drawing people in so close to you. And just like every other universal law, you're using it all the time, every time, and without exception. You see, this law is responsible for literally everything that you have, and it's responsible for everything that you don't have. It's responsible for why you're here right now watching this. It brought you here to this moment, like gravity draws in a falling apple to the ground. Well, if this law is so predictable and you're using it all the time, well, why can't I find my soulmate, I hear you ask? Well, that's kind of the problem. You see, it's your question that's responsible for keeping your soulmate away from you. Let me explain this law so we can both be on the same page. You see, I'm talking about the law of attraction. Now, you've probably heard of the law of attraction before. After all, it kind of went viral with a movie called The Secret. And if you're like most women, you probably tried all the things that The Secret movie told you to do, yet you're still single and wondering if this whole law of attraction thing is even possible. Well, I'm here to tell you it is. It's true. And whether you realize it or not, the law of attraction is working for you right now. It's what brought the both of us here, now, together. You see, you may think you've been attracting your soulmate, but if that were true, they probably would have turned up by now, right? So if the law of attraction is working and you're sitting here listening to this, well, the question must be, what are you attracting? And that is a great question. And here's why. You see, when you question reality and look into why things aren't working, you become open to hearing the truth and you put yourself in the hot seat for change. Now, the good news is that you're definitely on the right path, as we're here having this conversation about soulmates. So you're on the map and you're clearly getting very close. But you see, if you were not on the path to finding your soulmate, you would never have even seen this. In fact, you literally wouldn't have seen our ad on Facebook, but you did because you're looking. And this is how the law of attraction works. You attract what you think and feel the most. And right now, you think and feel more strongly about not having a soulmate than you do about having one. See, the thing that's stopping you from attracting your soulmate is what's called your love barometer. I know, my love bar, what? Well, allow me to explain. There are three things that we humans are ultimately able to focus on, and they are what we want, what we don't want, and, well, the stuff in the middle. See, in the world of relativity, as Einstein so cleverly pointed out, in order for what we want to exist, its exact opposite must also exist. Mr. Wrong? Which is what creates its relative, more commonly known as opposites. Think of it like this. You can't have this without that. Or, how could there be up if there was no down? Or, how could you have good if there was nothing bad to compare it to? Do you get it? You can't have one without the other. So in order for hot and cold to exist, something else must be present. Warm. Everything that's between hot and cold, that is neither. Yet it must exist in between the two poles, keeping those two poles apart from each other. See, if you remove the warm between hot and cold, then the whole model of reality collapses in on itself. Now, when it comes to attracting your soulmate, the scales are working in the same way. On one end of the scale, you have what you want, maybe Brad Pitt, and on the other end of the scale, you have what you don't want. Think of an overweight guy eating chips on the couch watching the footy. Well, what you probably didn't know is that all of the possible partners out there for you, there are oceans and oceans of warm potentials who are neither what you want or what you don't want. And the reason you haven't attracted your soulmate yet is because you keep focusing on Mr. Wrong or Mr. Has Potential. Your barometer is set in the wrong position. You see, the law of attraction is based on a few very basic principles. You get what you focus on, and you get what you focus on whether you want it or not. Now, your love barometer is literally stuck between Mr. Don't Want and Mr. Potential. So the secret lies in knowing how to adjust your barometer so that you not only notice, so that you only notice Mr. Hot, Steamy Love Chunks, right? And the way to do that is through a little tiny piece of your brain called your reticular activating system. Now, this is the part of your brain that's responsible for sleeping, waking, and what you pay attention to. Think of it as a sophisticated filter, and what it does is it screens out all the junk and acts like an executive assistant, sifting and sorting information based on what you find valuable. And if you're perceiving a threat, it'll actually show you the threat, and it also helps you to support your goals. It's literally responsible for where you set your barometer on the scale of what you want and what you don't want. And to avoid any future threat, your reticular activating system stays away from showing you situations or people who could present a threat to you. Well, how so? What do you mean? Well, does this sound familiar? Love hurts. Oh, and it kind of does, right? Well, a broken heart can be one of the most painful experiences on the planet. And each time our heart is broken, beginning with the rejection of our parents from a very young age, childhood friends, and past loves, we have slowly taught ourselves to avoid the pain and focus on the safe, aka the lukewarm and the flaccid. But the great news is it can all be undone by jumping deep into the second insight that I want to share with you. And this is the key that will open up the door to your reticular activating system and refine your attracting skills with such precision, you will literally push the fast forward button on your soulmate's arrival. So what's the key? Well, it's the removal of your limiting beliefs. Now, if you've never heard of a limiting belief before, a belief is something that you hold, and a limiting belief is one that prevents you from attracting your soulmate. Just like the one we mentioned before. Love hurts. How is that going to attract somebody that you want to love deeply? You're pushing against the universe. Now, beliefs are easy to change if you know where to find them. And quite frankly, they're impossible to change if you don't know how to get hold of them. You see, most people live in denial about what they believe, or worse still, they aren't aware of their hidden limiting beliefs, and they go on about their day completely oblivious as to why nothing in their life ever seems to work out. They spend their time completely addicted to drama and what they don't want, and simply can't imagine that change is even possible. And unless you've a proven way to eliminate and replace limiting beliefs, you will never be able to attract what you want into your life. Because here's the truth. Until we admit to ourselves we don't know how to attract the right people into our life, we will be forever attracting Mr. Wrong and Mr. Warm, building more limiting beliefs on more limiting beliefs. Saying things to yourself like, there are no good men, or good men are hard to find, or I'd prefer to be single anyway. Love sucks. Simply creating more and more of the same tired, old, and lonely reality. So how do you change a limiting belief and begin to draw in your soulmate with speed? Well, actually, it's really simple, and it happens in 3 basic steps. Number 1 is we have to identify what the current limiting belief is. And then, number 2, well, we delete it. And finally, we replace it with the belief that literally attracts your soulmate to you. And by doing so, you automatically realign your reticular activating system to start noticing what you want instead of what you don't want, making you incredibly attractive and irresistible. Because let's be real, those who get what they want are attractive to others. And those who complain, well, maybe not. So by now, you're probably wondering how you can get rid of your limiting beliefs and move your barometer into the hot zone so that you can start attracting your soulmate starting right now. And so I'd like to give you the chance to speak with me personally.